Hi, my name is Kara, and welcome to Kara on Paper. So, this is my first video on authotuber. I'm recording the audio from my phone so it can be better, and if you don't see me looking directly at you, it's because I keep looking at the viewfinder. And down here is my laptop, my Notion page with all the questions that I want to answer or things I want to touch on. So yeah, this is my very first episode or entry or video for authotuber, and I'm super excited. So as I said, my name is Kara. I guess we'll start about my life as a reader, which gets you into writing. So always loved reading. This is some of my books, not all of them. I still have like boxes of them. But yeah, been a big reader my whole life. Actually in middle school, I was in like the competition team for like the books, and I loved that. So yeah, my mom worked really hard to make me a reader. She actually taught me how to read like when I was 3. So since then I've been grinding away reading. I'm currently in a reading slump. I've been in a reading slump for a while, but it's been like on and off. But either way, in terms of my writing journey, I think the first book I ever wrote was when I was 8 or 7. It was a physical book. I folded it hot dog style, and it was a book about a cat family. I don't have it. I barely remember it, but I remember like writing it and like showing my parents it, and I was like super excited, and it was complete with illustrations. I don't even think I was a cat person at the time, but I wrote a book about a cat family. So since then, obviously I've been writing a lot. So I wrote that when I was 8, and then I'm sure I wrote like other things that I can't remember, but I did your normal Wattpad stuff. So I wrote a book on Wattpad under a different name, but I wrote a book on Wattpad that was never finished. I wrote like 2, one never got published, the other one I wrote for a while. Then I made tons of online friends on Wattpad, of which some of them I'm still like in contact with. So I wrote a book with one of my friends on there, and I had so much fun. I think I was like in 7th grade at the time, and I enjoyed it so much. I actually have like email receipts from us talking and like sending each other drafts. So I wrote it with her, and I was so like honored because she was like a year or 2 older than me, and I was so honored to be like writing with someone that I like loved like their work. And she let me come up with the male lead. And when I tell you I went to town making the dream teenager and his like whole family. It was so much fun, and I loved it. So I did that. And then so in 7th grade, it was like the writing course was like 7th grade English, but like heavily with writing. So we did poetry, we did short stories. So I went to town. I wrote so much in that class. Actually, I was best friends with the teacher's daughter, and we wrote stuff. We did the cute things you see on TikTok when they do the like, you do a piece of art, I do a piece of art, and you like keep swapping it. So we did that with books, like writing our stories. And we basically, she would write a sentence or like a phrase or a paragraph, and I would write the next one. And I did it with a couple friends, and those were super fun. So I did that. And then I wrote tons of short stories. I wrote like a dystopian one because, in 7th grade, we were really big on Hunger Games and Divergent, Maze Runners, the Selection series, which I actually have here in Spanish. And like all of the dystopian ones. But I also read Sarah Dessen, so that was part of my upbringing. Sarah Dessen, Cinder. I'm trying to think, but those are like some of the books that really shaped me back then. A little bit of Harry Potter, a little bit of Percy Jackson, but it wasn't like my origin. My origin was definitely Hunger Games. So yeah, I've been writing for a super long time, and then in high school, I was in a creative writing club. I started a junior writing club for the middle school I used to go to. So that was really fun. And I did NaNoWriMo in high school. And I didn't like win, meaning like I didn't reach like the 50,000 word count. But I was like super consistent on my little computer that ran out of space. And then I did a summer NaNoWriMo as well. And I really enjoyed that. And then I pretty much I had a lot of writer friends in high school too, which was super fun. And we wrote a lot. But I wrote a lot and then I didn't because I graduated high school and went to college. And in college, I made school my job. One thing about me is education, very important. So I made school my job and did not write anymore. I also just wasn't as interested in writing. I only wrote for papers, which I actually really did like. I really did write, writing for papers. But my mom kept telling me hey, you're a writer through and through. Your writer roots will never leave. And I was like, thanks, Mom. But I wasn't really believing her. But I really did enjoy everything I wrote in college. I wrote, actually was in a course that was called Assessing Marvel's Avengers. I love Marvel. So I had such a fun time coming up with it was a humanities course. So I had a super fun time coming up with, theses for that class, and I loved writing those papers. I didn't get to enjoy writing anymore, for me per se, but when I was allowed to write, I wrote. Even if it was an academic paper, I had a good time. It was bad when I even enjoyed writing my organic chemistry lab reports. That's concerning, but I guess I was still a writer and I enjoyed it, to a certain degree. But I didn't write for a super long time. And then I graduated, I had to take exams for entrance into grad school, blah, blah, blah. Never was writing, wasn't really interested, even though my mom was like, no, you're still a writer. And then basically when I traveled abroad, I had inspiration for this book that I'm currently writing. And that's how I got back into writing. Also, I started watching some authoTubers, and that really helped propel me back into not even propel me, ease me back into the idea of writing. So some of them, well, first of all, the number one girly, the main event that really got me back into writing was Brielle. Brielle writes. I love her. And I started from the beginning of her videos, her first video on AuthorTube, and that really helped me in watching her videos every week while I was out of the country. It was just really fun. And so some others I would recommend after Brielle is Write with Joy. I've been having so much fun watching Write with Joy. I just love her energy, her vibe, and it's just really fun to watch her progress through her books. Becca Tobar, Lindy Jung, Kelly is Writing, It's Mina, and Anna Neo. So those are some of the ones I would recommend because I love their work and they're super cute, super fun, and really actually inspired me. So that's how I got back into writing and kind of my life as a reader. So as for my current my current work in progress, I'm currently writing a book called Seaside Princess. And first, let's talk about what inspired this, since I haven't been writing in forever. Basically, when I was out of the country, I saw this scene. If I have a picture that's not pixelized, I'll put it somewhere. But if not, you'll just have to believe me. I saw this gorgeous, gorgeous scene. We went to basically where I lived. It was an island. I was on an island. And where I was staying, I was there for a very long time. I went out for a walk with someone, and the beach is right there. It's a 7-minute walk, less than 7 minutes from where I was staying. And basically it was a mountain, and from the cliff, it was a cliff, but it wasn't sharp. It was a deep mountain, I guess, round semicircle mountain. And there was a white horse on there. like there was just someone's white horse like eating grass, and after that it was just the sea. And so there's like this curve that you see the curve of the mountain, and you see the ocean down there, and then the sea expanse, and on the other side was like the horse. And I loved that image, and I took a photo of it, and that was all. But from then I kind of started thinking about what it would be like to write a story about a coastside kingdom and a princess that had like horses by the sea. So that was something I was thinking about. And then where I was staying, the owner of the home has a lot of these like art pieces, and they're very beautiful, and I won't go into depth because it's kind of like an element of the book. But the point is, those images really inspired me, and I kind of put those two things together, and the book was born. So I'll kind of give you like a premise. Every time I explain this book, I'm like going everywhere. So I'm going to try to keep it short, not give too many spoilers. And also, I probably will explain more throughout more videos. But the general premise, The Seaside Princess, is about a 20-year-old princess whose name is Elvira Ellington, and she is the younger sister of two. So there's her elder sister, and then there's her. And basically, the kingdom where she lives, the whole country is in disarray with the ocean. The ocean is no place for them because of their ancestors' sins, and they cannot live peacefully together, and the ocean is actually deadly for the humans. And basically, everyone thinks that her eldest sister is the protector heir, and the protector heir is the person who protects the country from the ocean, and the ocean is literally no place to be messed with. Everything in there is dangerous. The ocean constantly wants to have more humans inside of it, wants to kill every human possible through many different means. And everyone thinks her sister is a protector heir, and her sister's like awesome, wonderful, but she's actually not the protector heir. So becoming the protector heir is actually a genetic thing. It goes through the line. But it's actually her. Elvira is a protector heir, and no one knows this. So she suffers silently as a protector heir, and she doesn't tell her sister because she loves her sister, and her sister does so much, and she looks up to her, and she's like, you're already doing a lot. So I will suffer by myself. And so she's seen as a silly princess. Her parents only want her to marry someone else from another kingdom, so that they can combine kingdoms. And she just has to do her lessons. That's all she's seen as good for. But she's actually secretly the protector heir. And this is a lot of pressure on her. She's secretly dying from this. And basically, one day she gets a dream, a nightmare. And she gets nightmares all the time. It's basically she gets nightmares, prophetic nightmares. And then through a series of events, she's able to prevent what's going to happen, like the people who are going to die, the things that are going to happen, and that's how she protects them. Each protector heir has a different set of powers. So she gets this nightmare that isn't completely finished, and the book is essentially about her journey to figuring out what the end of the nightmare is and how to prevent it. So there are other things, really cool other things, but I won't go into depth because you'll see them later. But the genre is fantasy and new adult. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. And I am currently at 41K. So that's specifically 41,303 words. And I am actually starting this YouTube channel because I need accountability. I start grad school next month, actually, like mid-July. And I signed up for a critique, and I actually had to move the date to September, but I signed up for a critique in September, and my goal is 100K, and I would like to be done with the book by then, like my first draft. So yeah, I'm hoping, like I started this now so that in this like month and a half, it is currently June 2nd. So in like this little month and a half break that I have, that I would be able to get as far as possible. I would love to finish a book, but I don't know if that's possible, but get as far as possible before my due date of September 4th, I believe, and write as much as possible and reach that 100K or reach something further. I just got into Act 2, which is phenomenal. And this, yes, of course, would be my first finished book ever. So yeah, I started this channel so that I could have some accountability, build a community, find some authoTube friends, engage with you guys, and start writing and show you guys what I'm doing. Because I actually really like watching authoTube videos. I've been really super inspired by you guys, by the YouTubers on authoTube. So I'm hoping to inspire some people and hope that you guys will see me on my whole journey. I am interested in traditional publishing, so praying that happens. But yeah, and then also on a side note, so I have this book, The Seaside Princess, and I also have a second book that I have a premise for. I have some characters, some vibes for it. I have a Pinterest board, as one does, for it. And that one is called something else, completely different genre. But once I finish this draft, I would also be interested in writing that up at some point in my life. But super interesting, super cool that I already have another idea. So the last thing to talk about is that I'm going to probably right here post or paste the mood board for The Seaside Princess, and then you guys can get the vibes. Yeah, so I hopefully in the next couple of clips I will show some B-roll of me writing, because I actually haven't written in a month. I've just been super busy. I had a trip, which was really cool, but I had a trip, I was working, I was doing a lot of things, so I'm finally back on track. I'm actually going to go get on Brielle's track bear. So I did her track bear, I joined her track bear for April, I think it was. So I didn't do anything in May because I was mad busy. So I'm hoping to join in June and actually get some things done. So yeah, hopefully I'll talk to you in another clip. But if not, thank you so much for being here. And I hope you're excited for the journey as I am. So it's been a little bit, and I actually ended up using Flocus to help me a little bit, just because if I just go ham and just start writing, sometimes I can't tell when like time has passed, and then I'm like tired. So having like a specific time to like know, okay, we're gonna start, and then when I'm like tired, I'm like, wait, we still have a couple more minutes, then I can like go through it. So yeah, I was really surprised because I actually didn't end where I thought I ended. So I was rereading what I wrote before, what I wrote in like April, because I didn't write anything in May. And yeah, it wasn't half bad. It was a decent point, and I ended up adding brackets for like a time jump, but then I was like, the time jump is fine here, so I removed that and then started writing from there. I only wrote let me see, I think it was like 707 words, 766 words, which honestly is on the lower spectrum of what I expected, just because like I was writing for a little bit of time, and like for a good chunk of time, and I thought I would have written more, but it's honestly not that bad. Yeah. Okay, I guess in perspective, it's not that bad considering I haven't written in a while. And like going back, I immediately was like, oh, just move on like this. And so I was using my Pinterest board to help me kind of, like, I like to have my Pinterest board on the side, and I actually really use up the sections that Pinterest has so that I can separate based on like area, pretty much like based on location of what's going on. And that really helps me to like hone in and have like better descriptions, or at least get my mind flowing. I might end up changing them later, but at least I kind of have like a good gist and can get ideas flowing. So I used that to help me like write some things down and really get into it. So yeah, that was really fun. I want to write more because like I want to get through this, but I also kind of want a break. So yeah, let's see. I'll see what ends up happening, but I think I'll be able to continue this vlog tomorrow as well. And hopefully, because today's Monday, so hopefully tomorrow and on Wednesday, maybe on Thursday. I have an event on Friday, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, and then hopefully in a later vlog, maybe the next vlog, I'll kind of show you, like I previously showed you the mood board, but hopefully I'll be able to show you the Pinterest board and like what it really looks like, because I feel like that'd be fun, so you guys can like truly get a vibe for what's going on. But the good thing is the like filming has already helped me kind of like hone down and start writing, which is lovely. I just hope that I can, hit my goals. I'm going to have to make like some goals, I guess soft goals. I don't know. I'm trying to like take a soft discipline approach because I'm a very hard discipline kind of girl, but this is also supposed to be my break before grad school. So I shouldn't be like too gung-ho about it, but you need boundaries to get anywhere. So, we'll see, how like soft or hard my goals are. Maybe I'll make the next video about creating those goals and then, trying to follow through with them and like just give you like more depth about the story. I don't know. And then I might also put in a little bit of like what I'm currently reading, some of what's on my TBR, some info about the device I just bought. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. I probably won't be filming anything until tomorrow, maybe, unless I get to write some more today. I do have some things to do. Maybe I'll get to write some more today. I don't know. I would love to. The other thing is, I also have to mention, I am generally a night writer, just because I feel more cozy. Like I feel cozier at night when I write, but I don't know. We'll see. Since I have more free time right now, Maybe I'll try to stick to daytime. Maybe I'll do both. I don't know. But yeah, so I'll see ya when I see ya. So it's the next day. It's Tuesday, and I didn't end up doing any more writing. I was like really tired, so I ended up only writing the 700 and whatever that I told you about yesterday. Yeah, so it is currently 5 o'clock. It literally just became 5 o'clock. So yeah, it's a little late to start up things, but anytime is better than nothing, because I had a lot of chores and errands to do beforehand. So yeah, I have found this video that Write with Joy on AuthorTube recommended by the second story, and it has been so helpful. So she recommended this one called How to Write Any Story, Why Pacing is Everything. I love it so much. I watched it like a while ago and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I need. So then I went back through and watched it today. I also saw another video of hers that's called Don't Give Up on Your First Draft, and that was also super helpful. But the pacing video literally unlocked something in my brain. I was like, wow, this is exactly what I need so that the second act doesn't become super boring. So I am going to work on that. Basically, I know where I am in the second act. It's literally the beginning of the second act. And I'm trying to like push things along. Like I can feel that I have so much to write. Like I'm so excited for the story. There's so much I want to write, so much I want to do, but like it's taking forever and it's like lulling. It's not where I want it to be. And like I'm excited to sit down and write because I know there's something like brewing. There's something wonderful. Now, mind you, I have completely outlined this story, like down to the beats. So I did read, it's called Save the Cat. Yesterday I said beat the cat or eat the cat, whatever. I meant save the cat. So yeah, yesterday I read Save the Cat, and the book has been outlined specifically by each beat, which has been super helpful. But, you know, things still have to happen in between. You have to get from point A to point B. And I found that watching this video by the second story has been so helpful for this. So instead of wasting my time writing words that might not get me anywhere, that might not move the characters, I've decided to use my notebook. Oh, my pencil fell. Use my notebook right here, and basically try to figure out some of my mini arcs, because that's essentially what the video is about. It's about using mini arcs to propel your story along, to give your pacing value and meaning. So I'm gonna try that. So you're just gonna watch me try to get into that nitty gritty, because while everything's outlined, I do feel like I'm kind of floating until I hit the next like point or beat. And I hate that because that's what's taking this, like making the story take so long to write. So yeah, I'm going to do some research. I think I'm going to like rewatch the video again. This would be my third time, but that's how you know the content is good. So I'm going to rewatch it and then in real time try to assess what mini arcs I can implement in the story that align with the plot and the outline, that will make sense. So then I can hit those things like directly. That way when I'm writing, I can just look and be like, oh, hey, this is where I should be. Now, my like outline, I'll show you the outline at some point, maybe in the next video when I explain like more about the story. But basically the outline is outlining. Like I'm type A and that girl is done. Like the outline is good, but you still have to get from like this point to that point in the outline. So I think this is going to help me. So although I would love to do some writing, you want to make the writing valuable, not nonsensical. So I'm going to just work on that and we'll see how much I get done. I hope I can get through like a lot of it, and that way I can go through and start writing soon. Okay, so it's been a little bit, and I watched the video again, the video about the mini arcs, and then I basically went into depth. So I went into depth. I tried to figure out what my mini arcs were like beforehand for what I already have written. Are they actually mini arcs? I don't know. I don't know if they're good, because basically what she explained, the channel, the second story, she explained like mini arcs or like normal arcs, like when you do your three arced structure. So you're going to have like your question, or like the problem, and then the climax, like the major plot twist, whatever, and the end is like the resolution, which is pushing the character forward or something. And mini arcs are going to reflect that, and you're just going to do a bunch of those until you hit the biggest point of the story. Now she explains it much better, so go watch her video. But I basically tried to use that, and I wasn't really doing that before. Some of it was just natural. If I have it there, it just happened, or it could have been because of the save the cat structure that I've been using. But I can't say it's been anything like good. It's kind of like lulling, so I don't know if the pacing has been that great. If it's there, I just got kind of lucky, like it just happened. But because I've just at the beginning of Act 2, it is time to seriously implement this mini arc structure, because it was just going to be a lull and I was getting stuck and I wasn't sure what was happening, where she was going, my main character. So I just sat down and I tried to figure out at least 2 mini arcs from where she is right now, kind of like a motivation, like a question, what's going on, and then the high point, that climax moment, and the end. And then I tried to do it for the next part, because then right now we're in I forgot what it's called, but it's like right before the B character. So I think it's called Break into Act 2. So right now I know it's called single scene act, or a single scene beat, but whatever. The point is, it's kind of multiple scenes here, but I'm in the Break into Act 2 section, and I was able to, I think I'm like at the end of it. So I was able to make a little mini arc for that, and then go and make a second mini arc for the next section, which is the introduction to the B characters, who are really important to the story. And in the second story's channel, in that video, basically she explains that each mini arc should flow into the next. So that's supposed to help you instead of like wondering what happens next. And I think this is literally the magic tool to fixing the lull and like the speed of which I'm writing, because it kind of made sense for where the arc would go just naturally, like what would happen because of this and because of that and because of that. So I think I'm gonna keep trying that. It's like I already have my whole outline, but it's kind of like a mini outline, like in the nitty gritty, and it makes the nitty gritty writing so much easier. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I have my notes right here. Yeah, and then I have like, let me see if you can see it. Yeah, I have that right there. I think the exposure is too high, so you might not be able to read it, which is fine. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to write through that. I hope I get a lot done. It actually would be amazing if I could at least write out the whole first mini arc that I wrote out. I call it like mini arc D. I don't think it's really unrealistic to think I'll do mini arc D and E, which is the next one, which is the introduction to B characters, but the B-side characters, but it's fine. I'll just try to get D done. It's a long shot to get that done tonight, but I'll try. So wish me luck.